If you're still throwing away cardboard and dry leaves, you're quietly stripping your soil of one of the most powerful free systems for building fertility. And honestly, most gardeners don't even realize the damage they're causing. What looks like waste is actually the missing layer that determines whether your soil holds nutrients or loses them after every watering. And here's where it gets worse. When you skip this step, your soil dries out faster. Microbes struggle to survive, and your plants end up fighting for nutrients that should have been easily available. I've seen gardens with expensive fertilizers still underperform simply because this one layer was missing. Most people either overwater or let their soil dry out under mulch without realizing it. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It's especially useful when you start layering cardboard and leaves because things don't behave the way you expect at first. Now let's get into what actually works. The biggest mistake people make with cardboard is using it like trash instead of a tool. They either ignore it completely or throw it down randomly without understanding what it does. Cardboard is not just a weed barrier, it's a carbon base that feeds fungi, the exact organisms responsible for long-term soil structure and nutrient cycling. When you lay cardboard correctly, you're not just blocking weeds, you're building a slow-release system underneath your soil that improves water retention and root penetration over time. But here's the part most people miss. You don't just lay cardboard and walk away. You have to activate it. This is where dry leaves come in, and this is where things start to get interesting. Dry leaves are what balance the system. Cardboard alone is too dense. Leaves alone break down too fast. But together, they create a layered structure that mimics what happens on a forest floor, one of the most fertile environments on Earth. When I build this system in a raised bed, I start with plain brown cardboard. No glossy print, no tape. I soak it thoroughly. This step matters more than people think because dry cardboard actually repels water at first. If you skip soaking, you create a barrier instead of a sponge. Then I add a thick layer of dry leaves, at least 10 to 15 centimeters. Not a light sprinkle, a real layer. This is where most people underdo it. They're afraid of too much mulch, but in reality they're starving the soil of protection. And here's where patience starts paying off. Within about 2 weeks, if moisture is right, you'll notice the cardboard softening and the leaves starting to collapse. That's not decay, it's transformation. Fungal networks begin forming, and this is what changes everything. Your soil stops behaving like dirt and starts acting like a living system. But there's a hidden problem that shows up right here. If you're not paying attention, if your soil underneath is too dry, this entire system stalls. The cardboard just sits there. The leaves stay crisp. Nothing happens. This is why I rely on a moisture meter instead of guessing. You want that lower layer consistently damp, not soaked, not dry. Now let's talk about containers, because this is where people think this method doesn't apply, and they're completely wrong. In containers, you scale it down. A thin cardboard layer at the bottom, torn into smaller pieces, followed by crushed dry leaves mixed into your soil. This improves water retention dramatically, especially in hot climates where containers dry out fast. I've tested this side by side, one container with standard potting mix, another with leaf carbon integration. The difference shows up within weeks. The amended soil holds moisture longer, roots spread more aggressively, and plants recover faster after heat stress. And here's something most gardening advice won't tell you. Leaves are not just brown material. Different leaves behave differently. Soft leaves like those from fruit trees break down quickly and feed microbes fast. Tough leaves, like from oak or eucalyptus, break down slower and act more like long-term structure. Mixing them gives you both short-term and long-term benefits. That's how you stabilize your soil instead of constantly fixing it. Now let's address one of the biggest myths. People say leaves steal nitrogen. That's only partially true and mostly misunderstood. When leaves decompose on the surface, they don't rob nitrogen from plant roots below. The issue only happens when you mix large amounts of dry carbon directly into the root zone without balance. When you layer properly, cardboard at the bottom, leaves on top, you avoid this completely. In fact, you end up conserving nitrogen instead of losing it through runoff. This becomes even more powerful when you combine it with kitchen waste or compost. A thin layer of compost between the cardboard and leaves acts like a microbial starter. It speeds everything up. Suddenly, what would take months starts happening in weeks. The soil becomes darker, softer, and easier to work with. But here's the part most gardeners don't notice until it's too late. If you leave gaps in your cardboard layer, weeds will find them. And they won't just grow, they'll thrive because you've created a nutrient-rich environment. That's why overlapping your cardboard pieces by a few centimeters is critical. It's a small detail, but it makes the difference between a clean bed and a frustrating one. And here's where things get even more interesting for those of you growing in hydroponic or semi-hydro systems. You can't use cardboard the same way, obviously, but you can use leaf extract or leaf compost tea. Soaking dry leaves in water for a few days creates a mild nutrient solution that supports microbial life when introduced into hybrid systems or soil-based hydro setups. It's not a replacement for nutrients, but it improves root environment stability, especially in systems that tend to swing in pH or temperature. Now let's bring this back to real-world results. In my own raised beds, using this method reduced watering frequency by nearly half during dry periods. That's not a small improvement. That's the difference between stressed plants and stable growth. Crop yields improved, not because I added more fertilizer, but because the soil stopped losing what it already had. And once this system is established, it keeps improving. Each new layer of leaves feeds the previous one. Each breakdown cycle adds structure. You're not just growing plants anymore, you're building soil that works for you. This is why I always say, stop thinking in seasons, start thinking in systems. Because once you understand how to use materials like cardboard and dry leaves properly, you stop relying on constant inputs. Your garden becomes more resilient, more predictable, and far less dependent on outside products. And the best part? Most of this is free. So the next time you see a pile of cardboard or dry leaves, don't think of waste. Think of it as the foundation of a better growing system, one that most gardeners overlook. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel. This is the kind of practical, tested knowledge that actually changes how your garden performs, not just how it looks. And if you know someone still throwing this stuff away, share this with them. It might completely change how they grow. Because at the end of the day, good gardening isn't about doing more. It's about understanding what already works in nature and using it better.